Or I will when Q comes back. Because I don't know what he'll say. Oh, man.
Well, they are continuing with the story of having zombie DNA in Dying Light.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I didn't play Dying Light 2, so.
Yeah, originally this started off as a DLC for Dying Light 2, but they decided to switch it over to an actual game.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a $40 game in my opinion. If they ask me more than that, they're crazy.
Yeah. With it being given away free, if you had the Ultimate Edition, I mean, I don't see a reason why it would be. Let's see. I'm curious. So I mean, you can buy the Ultimate Edition for $62 now on Steam. So, about to mute for a second. All right, we're back. Let's get it started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Zeno, and I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype.
We have Bloodaxe.
Nice to have you back in the studio, man.
Oh yeah, I think I do have the ultimate. We got a little bit from you here. This is going to be a fun one, man.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, there's more than we can cover that came out this week because of Gamescom. So I mean, we're gonna highlight on things that interest us.
Well,
and
there's a lot of
you
trash.
guys.
You know, there was a lot.
There's a lot of trash. I will say, there's also a lot of indie projects that came up that some could be really good. But I mean, there were so many of them. Digging through them is like that needle in the haystack type thing. But so we're going to look more at the bigger announcements and some other news. So I mean, where do you want to get started? I guess we'll get started with Gamescom.
We want to talk about what's not coming out, what is coming out, what they're putting out that we don't care about.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that's not coming out.
Well, that's what you want to start with.
You really can't start with what's not coming out.
It only makes sense to start off with the biggest news, which isn't a whole lot of information, but we do get confirmation that Borderlands 4 is coming out next year.
Yeah, that's one of those. Like me and Q both were talking earlier about how that's sort of just a shaky subject because I mean we did not see any kind of gameplay. I mean, they didn't even render any characters. They literally showed us a mask and said, "This game is coming out next year."
That's the crazy part. Next year.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at this. And you own them all too, so we all three can do this. Normally I should be excited, but the problem is that the last two games that came out from these people were Tales from the Borderlands 2. And Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. They need to show me something. They're going to have to show me what they're doing because the absolute vomited refuse that they put out last is alarming how bad it is. Combined with the fact of, no, I normally wouldn't blame them for the movie because that's something different, except that Randy Pitchford, who I've said a lot of colorful things about, really liked it and is on a rampage. And then I saw him, I actually got to see, not just hear about what he's been saying, and looking at how he looks now. He's turning into Tommy Wiseau, you know what I'm saying? Like, from the room, like, I'm very concerned. The bad decisions, lack of any artistic integrity, and sheer insanity of their head has led me to go, this could be the worst thing we've seen come out from the Borderlands serial.
almost no info.
Yeah, not even like them telling you what's in it, just nothing.
Yeah.
So,
and, I mean, on top of that, they said, to get more information, they went to the Steam page, which added that you would be, you'll follow a vault hunter and search for secret alien treasure.
That's not a vault.
As a matter of fact, we can pull that up here. Here we go. Yeah, not.
So you'll be a vault hunter. That's what we know. You're a vault hunter.
And you're going to shoot stuff, blasting everything in sight. Yeah, that's no info, really.
So what do you think, Bloodaxe? You're as big a fan as I am, if not larger. How do you feel about the Borderlands 4 announcement?
Well, I mean, it kind of confirmed, or at least affirmed, what I had been speculating for a while, is that the Borderlands 4 had been in development for a while. They just kept it very, very secret. It is going to be interesting, but this will probably be the first Borderlands core game that's not going to be on Pandora. If you watch the trailer, you can see the moon being spit out into a different part of the galaxy and being stopped by what we all assume to be a siren. There's a lot of speculation on if it's a guardian that picks up the mask, but it's got 5 fingers instead of it's got 4
I think it's
fingers.
an actual Iridian. I'm with the theory that it's not a guardian; it's an actual Iridian.
I don't think it's a guardian either, but there's a lot of speculation of what it's going to be, but just like with any Borderlands game, even the first game, we waited a year to play Borderlands 3 because of all the hiccups and the problems and the balance changes. And if I'd done that with Borderlands, I may have actually enjoyed the game more because we got it from day one and we were playing it, and it kept nerfing everything every week to the point to where it was just impossible for me to even enjoy the game anymore.
Well, that was one thing I did hear. They did say this should be coming directly to Steam and not going to like Epic first, and then 6 months to a year later coming to Steam. So
you got a good point, because they kept working on Wonderlands. They might have been able to get it straight, because you remember we heard that Borderlands 3 was actually like kind of trash when it launched. You know what I mean? Like it was problematic, like Wonderlands.
Was it delayed for Xbox as well? Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why y'all got it late on Xbox. It was also delayed a year on Xbox. I think it was exclusive to PlayStation for a year and Epic, or 6 months.
I don't know about PlayStation, but I know it was exclusive for a while. And by the time it finally hit, because we got it pretty much when it hit, and it was already like half off.
Yeah, I got it was half off.
We got it half off, which tells you a lot about the quality of the game, when it came out, that it went to half off so fast. Now it's a well-liked game, but that's what I'm saying. So, honestly, I do hope they put it out next year, because then they can get on work fixing it. The sooner they get it out, the sooner they can start patching up the train wreck.
It's saying next year. That's also a very
probably
broad,
December.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never heard them do a year announcement where they don't give you a month, and it is at the end of that year.
And then, of course, there's always the option of delays, which we keep seeing, so...
hopefully it won't hit the record of delays that some games have hit, and are currently.
I'm almost to the point where I wish games would go back to not announcing until they're like
just come out
almost done.
Honestly, I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of like, you know what? Tell me a month ahead of time.
Like,
give me the next
they're
month.
In the
game
final
release.
Steps of playtesting. Usually it used to be the thing. But now. Now you'll hear, Skyrim, like, you bastards. Bloodlines, we got information on it finally. That's been
well, let's
ancient,
look at the quality difference even. Because I was going to say I almost don't want to see teaser trailers, but that'd be a lie, because the teaser for Gears of War was amazing. But the teaser for Gears of War also communicated a lot of information.
Well, yeah.
You know who you're playing. You know what time it's happening. It's E-Day. So it actually communicated a surprising bit of information to you versus, this literally, you could have surmised a lot. He says it's not on Pandora because of what we saw. it might still just start on Pandora. You might have to get to the Iridium planet. We don't know. That's how little information.
I mean, I'll be honest, dude. Flynn says some of the Borderlands material is getting repetitive. It needs new material.
That's what
dude,
I like Borderlands is going to be.
I like Borderlands because of the style, the weapons, stuff like that. I really could care less about the story of Borderlands anyway, to be honest. Like, I'm not big into the story of Borderlands. I like the gameplay. And it's unique in its style of gameplay.
The real good story is always in the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The main game for every game was trash.
The little side stories and short stories you get in the DLC have always been really fun.
Every DLC was incredible.
The overarching story, I just don't care about. I honestly don't.
In the first game, the comedy was lame, but then you got Nox's DLC and the other, and it was just amazing. So the DLC has always been where it's at for Borderlands. But Borderlands 3 pushed it to a bit of an extreme, and then Tiny Tina's Wonderland said, hold my Zima.
And once again, they had a interesting concept for Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Because you basically got that Borderlands style, but with a fantasy twist.
I mean, that's what I was hoping I'd get.
Well, and they delivered on that somewhat. I mean, you had the fantasy weapons, you had the magic, you had the, the twist. It was just poorly executed. But it was a cool concept. And once again, I like the art style, and I like the loot system. And honestly, that's what I play Borderlands for. That's what I play Borderlands games for. That's why I can get over the stupid story shit that Tiny Tina's did that I didn't really care for, was because it was a fun game to play until they just started. It was buggy though. The co-op didn't work properly.
Oh God, we never could.
So that's where my problems really came for Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and has been is, they kept screwing up things. They did horrible balance.
Just completely wiped out entire. People had to make new characters, man, and change out their classes.
And then they didn't really deliver on continuing to give you. I felt like I overpaid for it, for what I got.
And I agree, except that I don't even think they delivered on the art style. I believe that the style was there, but their execution in Wonderlands, repetitive characters. You could line up the bosses, and I couldn't tell you who the hell they are. Whereas, I remember Kilovolt and Speaker Box and stuff from Borderlands 3. Like I know which vault, I know the bosses, I know the DLC bosses. But, and then the environments weren't nearly as good as Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep, which was way better. We went back and played it. We got the separate thing, and me and Bloodaxe played Borderlands 2 and played it again. It is so much better. It's mind-numbing how much better it is than Wonderlands. It's ridiculous. They did it better, and then they went to Wonderlands, and they somehow screwed up everything they did. It's like they just can't make the main game good. Like, they can only make good DLC. I
think Borderlands 2 had a really good story for the main story, and
Handsome Jack, you're right. I forget about that because it almost feels like a different game. It was so much better than anything we got in the others for the main game. It almost feels disconnected. You know what I'm saying? In its quality. But so we'll see. But I'm in high trepidation because God, Tales from Borderlands 2. Oh my God. It introduced, and I don't mean just it was bad writing, acting, story, art, concept, morals, ethics, but that actually story-wise, it introduced concepts to the Borderlands universe that broke the Borderlands universe. Just anybody, there's a god in it. They introduced a being that an intergalactic god being that can just resurrect any dead person it wants and stuff. That's when Marvel went into the multiverse. You start to make your universe kind of have an issue when you start introducing wishes, almost genies, because it's effectively a genie. It is practically a genie that gets introduced in that game. Spoilers. I don't care. It's a damn genie. It's stupid. and can rewrite reality. And you're just like, okay, so is what anyone else is doing. The storyline was about the sirens and the corpos for all this time. But now you've introduced deities or deity-like entities and eldritch entities that just have real levels of magical powers. That's way bigger. Whatever's happening in that trailer is not bigger than what happens in Tales from the Borderland 2. It isn't. Genie. Magic genie with wish powers. There is an ending where you can wipe out all life in the universe. That's how powerful it is. So, kind of makes the vaults not a big deal anymore. So they literally, this is the writing they've been doing, where you just devalue the main story by going, nobody's worried about the Iridians and the vaults. See, what the Iridians should have done is they should have asked the magic genie, space genie, to get rid of the destroyer. Because, that would have worked better.
Well, like you said, I mean, the main story, once again, they failed on that. I mean, the characters weren't likable, a lot of them. I mean, some of the most, voted most annoying characters in games came out of that.
Ava. And the twins. Oh, the twins.
So, I mean.
They're so annoying, I forget them. I literally have to go I am not kidding. Every time I see them, I literally go, oh, yeah, they're the villains. I'm not even kidding. I block them out and forget that they're in the game until I see them. I literally saw a gun. They were talking about, I watched a video on Good Guns, Borderlands 3, and they go, oh, the Monarch, yeah. And I was like, I know that gun, but who the heck do you get it from? And they said, you get it from Troy. And I was like, who the hell's that? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's the male twin. My God, I forgot he existed. That's bad, dude. When you literally people start to genuinely erase a character out of their head. And I don't even remember the name of the other one. I think it starts with a T also. Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, the side stories introduce some of the most interesting characters. So
see, I literally got it wrong, and you just told me. Like I had to go, oh, Tyree, yeah. Tyree and Troy, are horrible.
Yeah. And Typhon was the dad, yeah.
I like Typhon. But then again, cool. I'm a fan of Mel Brooks, so that style of humor was entertaining to me. Though it still was a bit corny. They overdid it a bit. It kind of was stacked on a little more than maybe it had to. He had a lot of dialogue. But I did like the character concept. But my God. So yeah, that just says it. Yeah. We're going to wait and see. Maybe get that 50% again, Bloodaxe, let them get that Game of the Year edition. Excuse me. I mean, really. And, hey, by then, you'll be able to play with us. Because I'm going to get it on PC this time also. I'm getting it on PC. So we'll need to give it time so we'll be able to play. Because, remember, we couldn't play Wonderlands with Z. We could probably play it. Well, I don't know because they stopped working on it. But literally on release, the co-op did not work.
Yeah.
So, but that's fine. We're going to let it sit. We'll do we'll go over some of the games that are coming out. But
yeah. So, speaking of, you mentioned Dying Light,
Yeah, I almost rolled right into it.
That'll be our next big one. I mean, they did a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 extended gameplays. The game still looks awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, but I'm just like...
Zombies, Bloodaxe. We got to do the zombies mode, man.
Goat Simulator Remaster, Persona 3 Reload, Dying Light the Beast. Now, this is an interesting one because... If you got the Ultimate Edition of Dying Light 2, supposedly you get it for free.
And we're going back to Kyle Crane. The game looks like it's going back to its original style. And they finally said, no, you have zombie DNA and you get to use it now. So they realized how popular Dead Island 2 was for not making you watch cutscenes. You getting punched in the face constantly. Poor Aiden. And also your only cool moments, except for the literal short part of the last battle, you don't get to be cool for any extended period of time. It's just little short snippets. It looks like you're going to develop your abilities, but here's why I think it's going to be better than Dead Island 2. I got to be fair. Me and Bloodaxe have almost went back to Dying Light 2 several times, haven't we? We've been eyeing it. And the reason why is because it does play better than Dead Island 2. Being able to parkour, the more in-depth combat and moves and options, the variety of weapons that have actual effects that matter in the game, what you put on your weapon, you know what I'm saying, Bloodaxe? Because, I mean, me and you have totally different likes. I think I do impact and you like one of the elements. But I usually do crit and impact on mine. It was a solid game. But, once again, it had a Gearbox-style main story and some bad choices. And then they added guns. And I heard that broke it recently. Now people are just playing it as a shooter pretty much. But it was a better experience of gameplay, while Dead Island was much more fun. It was designed to be fun. It was. This looks like it's going to be Dying Light meets Far Cry. It looks like the survival elements and you hunting your enemies and using it are more on Premiere. And I liked Far Cry 5 for gameplay. It was fun going around Far Cry 5 and doing stuff. And I remember when we were doing it, I kept trying to parkour because me and Bloodaxe had came off of Dying Light. And I said, man, if I could move like I did in Dying Light 2 in this Far Cry game, that'd be incredible. We might be getting that. There's people hunting him. They have weapons. It looks like you got a lot of human opponents. So you're really the beast. I mean, we see zombies in that shot too. But you also see human opponents, and you get to be the predator as well. So now you're going to have human opponents who actually are competent. They have weapons. They're coming after you with gear. You have zombies. You're playing as Kyle Crane, who actually is an Aiden. Huge bonus there. No Rosario Dawson slapping you in the face and calling you a loser and having to save you constantly. Looks like it's going to be what I wish Dying Light 2 was. And I like the concept that you're going to be maybe getting powers to make you a better predator and hunter.
Yeah, they do mention that you get in here, it says, unleash the beast to survive. They caged you like an animal. Years of brutal experimentation took its toll. But the zombie DNA and yours are now intertwined so that you're able to unleash a beast-like power. Flows through your veins. No one can take it from you. Use it, and you'll discover it's not just a curse.
And see, in Dead Island 2, I did a beast build. I focused on a beast build as my main one. So I'll probably go for that build because, and Bloodaxe will probably go for his gun build.
It does have 4-player co-op in this one.
Mm-hmm. So it's looking good. And hopefully it'll come is it coming to consoles as well? Do you know?
I'd be shocked if it didn't. But one of the things I thought was interesting is they've actually taken the concept of scaling back and not have the overarching mega story arc that Dying Light 2 had, to where you have all these factions and you're determining the fate of civilization. No, it's a man going after the people that were experimenting on him. So I mean, it's more of a vengeance storyline. So it's a lot more scaled down as far as scope. Which makes sense for a game that's supposed to be about 20 hours long.
Yeah. And it is listed as Steam, Epic, Xbox, and PlayStation.
So it looks good. And hopefully it'll have crossplay. No fingers crossed. That'll be something to check. It's probably too early in development to know. But if it has crossplay, then we can all get on there. So I've got hope for Dying Light the Beast. I am optimistic.
I think the question is, does Dying Light... Because it sounds like it's going to basically be built off of the Dying Light 2 engine.
We just made that theory because it was coming for free. It should be a separate game, I'm imagining.
It is separate, but it was originally supposed to be a DLC for Dying Light 2, and then it came into a standalone. So with that, if Dying Light 2 is cross-play, then this should be...
that'll be interesting.
I wonder if any of your progress or anything you did in Dying Light 2 Stay Human crosses over into the Beast. That might be interesting.
I wonder if Aiden will be an optional boss, and it starts with us punching him in.
Dying Light 2 is not cross-platform. So.
Well, hopefully the next one will be. If not, then that'll be a little more challenging. But, actually, I think I have the edition, so I'm going to get it on Xbox. I do believe I have Ultimate. I want to say we got Ultimate Edition. I think we did, because it wasn't that much higher. It was only like a $10, which is not as crazy as some of these $100.
You may not have gotten Ultimate Edition then, because it looks like Dying Light had a Reloaded Edition, and the Ultimate Edition though was $89.99 originally.
Then maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know what comes with the Ultimate. I could tell by knowing what's in the bundle because I'll know if I got it.
Let's see. Usually it says down here. I do not see it there.
You usually can click on up there, like Ultimate Edition, right? Ultimate Upgrade. Down. Content for this game, Ultimate Upgrade.
Here we go. Ultimate Upgrade.
See. Legendary Paraglider. I had the legendaries, didn't I? I don't think I had all that digital. Well, no, wait. Yeah, I think I might have, because I know I had the legendary outfit. Unless I came with something else. I thought I had the legendary. I don't know. That's a good question. I probably don't. It might have been a previous edition that had that. Because I don't, that might be it.
Yeah, you might have got some stuff maybe. Did you pre-order? Or?
Yeah. But I remember getting a legendary. Because remember Bloodaxe? We had the legendary stuff, didn't we? At the start of the game? I don't know. Either way, we'll let it come out and see what it does. I mean, I'm not going to buy it day one, but I'm optimistic. And if they go cross-platform, I'll play it on PC.
Yeah. Next up, let's see. They had Black Myth Wukong was there, which was sort of odd, being that it came out at the start of Gamescom. But
I'm literally playing that.
Holy crap, dude! This game has blown up.
What? I thought it was being boycotted.
So, I mean, Black Myth Wukong sells 10 million copies in 3 days with like a concurrent cap of around 3 million.
3 days, 10 million. I think the boycott didn't work. Sorry, IGN. Apparently, nobody gives a damn what you think.
Even NBC News has picked up on the hate for Wukong.
Well, yeah, but we know nobody cares what they think.
And then, of course, the IGN router who smeared Game Science has apparently previously admitted to hating white people. So, I mean, that's one of those things of you might want to worry about your own prejudices before you start speaking of somebody else's.
I mean, but it's a Chinese game, so...
Yeah.
But interesting that, well, that's not, but what they're doing is they're just showing that a lot of these people.
Will in the chat room says got boycotted the same way Hogwarts did. Pretty much.
Yeah. Hogwarts was the best selling. Yeah. Same way Pokemon was going to take down Pal World.
Yeah. Basically, the boycott, Flynn, was that they were saying that Black Myth Wukong Chinese
developers were sexist.
Were sexist.
Something.
And we're censoring the reviewers, which honestly, if you read a lot of these things that bash them for censorship, they actually
That's a blatant lie.
They prove themselves wrong in their own article, being that they actually mention it as guidelines.
There is no NDA,
and the statement made was that your comments would not, if you did not follow the guidelines, your comments were not associated with the marketing team.
So basically, they're just saying we're not taking credit or being accountable for what you say if you don't follow guidelines. There's no NDA. They send almost everybody a review copy. So the claims they censor people, just like the claims that they are sexist, that are based on mistranslated comments that actually has been proven over and over that it was mistranslated from Chinese to English, is just another lie.
Yeah. Their do's and don'ts was basically, their do's was enjoy the game, and their don'ts was a bunch of don't do political stuff or opinion stuff.
Everybody focused in on the COVID and the feminist propaganda, but they also say, like, don't use trigger words, don't attack anyone, don't attack someone because of their race or sexuality or any of that. They actually say don't be a dick.
Their guideline was basically, please talk about the quality and of our game, and not
politics,
the politics and rumor mill,
Yeah, but everybody pulled out two things and focused on that because, these.
But nobody cared because the game sold well. I'll be honest. I mean, this is a big blow to the DEI community, being that Black Myth Wukong was very adamant on the fact that they refused to hire consultants.
Yeah. And then they did really well with it. And let me tell you something. If you like God of War, this game is fun. It is somewhere. It's more God of War than Souls-like, but this has been I redo my builds constantly because it's free. I've tried so many different things. I'm doing a new build. On the way here, I switched my build again, and I'm having fun. So I thought you wouldn't have a lot of diversity, but you shockingly can play around with how you play your character. I'm only on chapter 4, and each chapter is bigger than the last, and the game has offered me so much satisfaction, and it's got new game mode. Some things you can only do in new game mode, so it has replayability. You don't have to wait for DLC. You could actually, because of the number of supplies, you actually have some things that you have a reason. It has multiple. It has a secret ending, I've heard. I'm going to try to see if I can find it. It's been incredible. It's just been incredible.
I mean, on Steam alone, it's had over 2 million. So I think they undershot themselves with the 3 million cross.
Yeah, the peak is 2 million. It apparently goes up and
almost
down,
2.5.
It's almost like people play it, take a break, play it, take a break, play it, take a break.
Yeah, I mean, it's hitting the same peaks or higher
every day.
So
when people get off work, they play Wukong, and it's barely dropping. It's staying very high at over 2 million.
So, yeah.
You can literally see people going to work or sleep and then
school.
Play. Yeah.
Yeah, school or work.
Yeah. But, like, it's 24-hour peak, and its all-time peak is in the 2 millions. Right now, it's the middle of the day. It's down. It'll pop back up. But, I mean, the game is kicking butt, man.
But, yeah, I mean, that's...
It's pretty much maintaining at 2 million, yeah. So, but, I mean, 10 million copies makes it now, like, we finally found a contender for Power World. For, like, a game that's rivaling it for most sold game of the year. And isn't it interesting that both games that are up there are literally...
I mean, dude, 95.72 Steam rating.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Especially because we know there's haters out there trying to downvote.
Oh, yeah. You have 16,000 downvotes to 471,000 upvotes.
So, basically, the game's incredible. I mean, fun. It's fun. Let me say that. It's fun. But sales-wise, the two games that have knocked it out the park have been new franchises. Power World and this, new franchises, new companies. I'm shocked, but if we look at this, Bloodaxe, this is wild. I just realized none of the major gaming companies are even in this race for, like, best sold game. Call of Duty is going to probably be the only contender, which happens to be owned by, who owns them again? Microsoft, yeah.
Activision, Microsoft.
I got to send a shout out against Sony. Got to mess them a bit. So, yeah, Sony hasn't had anything that's come close. This has been a terrible year.
10 million copies at $60 or $70 a copy is a good Christmas. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, yeah, it's also not Power World. For money, it beat Power World because this game costs twice as much. Like, if we go on cash, it's already beat Power World. If we go on copies, I think Power World might have hit somewhere between 12 to 15.
Yeah, but Power World was free to download and play on Game Pass.
Yeah, but, like, Wukong is a purchased game. So, yeah, you're right. It's Wukong. Black Myth Wukong is going to be the most successful game of the year unless Call of Duty.
Because, it's $60 for the standard edition, $70 if you get the deluxe edition. So, I mean, $10 more for the deluxe edition.
It was just fun. I mean, I wanted to support the game.
It's
not much. That stuff literally gets beat out by the first set of armor you can make. So it's not pay to win.
Yeah,
it's mainly just fun. I mainly supported them because they were getting attacked. I mean, I don't like that they were just getting assaulted with all these claims, and like when you go look it up, you're like, okay, that's not accurate. And then IGN just won't back off, man. IGN has decided to ride this into the ground, which they also did for Hogwarts. So, like Bloodaxe said, man, they really know how to lose, don't they? Oh, no, sorry, that was Will. Will called him on that. Yeah. But, yeah, this is going to be the most successful game of the year unless Call of Duty. And sadly, I'm about to say something a little less friendly, but it's just the truth. Sadly, it's not likely it will because it's on Game Pass. That's going to take a bite out of its, like, actual sold copies. So it may be but it is also Call of Duty. So it's hard because Call of Duty is like the most successful game almost on the planet. It's also
across, it's very, it's big on Xbox, it's big on PlayStation, it's big.
But you know what? I definitely say this. Without a doubt, Black Myth Wukong has number 2 locked down. And nothing this year is taking it out. I don't see Stalker or any of that. Nothing's taking it out of number 2 if Call of Duty beats it. But it is going to be a competition. Call of Duty got to bring it, but it's Call of Duty, and it's looking now.
You're looking at two different target audiences. Black Myth Wukong is more for the solo audience versus the PvP group that is Call of Duty for your shooters. So you're comparing apples and cars.
Well, that's what's impressive, Bloodaxe, is that it's competing and it's not a shooter.
I know Black Myth Wukong definitely will be a will be in competition for Game of the Year. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bloodaxe.
Well, no, I'm just saying. They can release them side by side and probably still had impressive numbers because different people will gravitate towards one game or the other. I would rather play Black Myth Wukong than Call of Duty because I just don't do PvP. Now, I will play the story with my friends, but it's not something I'm going to be sitting and playing for years to come like we do Gears 5 where we jump and play Horde. I'll do PvE, but not PvP. But those people that are diehard PvP, they're going to bypass Wukong and go right into Call of Duty. So you have completely different markets that will be the target audiences for these games, but they can both still be successful. But you got to think Call of Duty is also going to be free for everyone who has Game Pass to download and play. So from a return on investment perspective, Wukong's probably going to blow it out of the water.
Yeah,
agreed.
All right, so next up, let's see what we got on the list. Dragon Ball Sparkling. I mean, it has its people. Like, it's gonna sell.
I haven't seen anything that sold it to me. It looks. I can make this comment. This is about to be the weirdest thing I may have ever said.
Okay.
It looks too good. And what I mean is that Dragon Ball is an anime. They go so far on some of the special effects and stuff. It kind of makes it look weird. Like, look at that. Here's a for example. Right there, it's playing. Like, you see all the effects they put in there? Mm-hmm. That clashes with the anime style. That's not how it looks in the anime. So it kind of makes it look odd. Now, they did good on the Brawly down there. But, like, some of the animations break the anime feel because they look a bit weird with the effects. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like water. All the energy looks kind of wet. And it just, I don't know. I think they overdid it, oddly enough. I'm not a fan of the key effects. Now, the movement, pretty solid. As you see, the scenes they're showing here look great. But, like, when they charge up their ki, like that shot, which should be beautiful shot there with him doing that, but the way they did the fire energy, not really a fan. But then again, I watched the anime, and it doesn't feel like the anime. It feels like something else. It feels like someone else did Dragon Ball and animated it differently. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's, I don't know. It just looks a little weird to me, but that's personal opinion. But other than that, it's Dragon Ball Budokai.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay 40. I wouldn't pay more than 30 or 40.
Like I said, it has its fan base. It's gonna sell.
I'll get it on sale and beat the crap out of it, but I'm not going to pay full price. That Budokai games are games I get on
what
sale.
I'm saying is there are people that will.
Oh, heck yeah. No, big fans. Y'all can go watch cartoons and Homewrecker are definitely going to play it. And probably the Three Idiots, and all them. And
a little bit more on Warhammer 40K come out. I did see, which I didn't know beforehand, and y'all may have because I know y'all been keeping a more closer watch, was microtransactions. I didn't realize that it was going to. Yeah, so apparently they're going to have cosmetic microtransactions.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what the miniatures were. You paid to paid to get the army you like and paint it your favorite colors. I don't mind that. I mean, shoot, me and Bloodaxe will just rock Ultramarines and be happy. You know what I'm saying? If I can get Blood Ravens,
win, yeah.
Well, this says recently confirmed that there aren't any microtransactions, but I saw something where they were talking about the microtransactions. So now I'm confused.
I mean, with Space Marines, for the fans, cosmetics are almost microtransactions for the really hardcore fans. But for people like me and Bloodaxe who are buying it to play, I don't care. If I can color my armor black, I'll be happy, but that's all I would care about. I don't have a favorite group enough to really care. I mean, I wouldn't mind being able to do Salamander. I like Salamanders a bit, but it ain't enough that I would actually.
Okay, they're not claiming them as microtransactions. I think they're claiming them as DLC. But yeah, I know they were talking about selling certain colors and color schemes.
I expected that. I expected if you wanted to play as your favorite, you want to be the Space Wolves or whatever, you're going to have to drop. Hopefully they don't go crazy with the price and it isn't insanity and it's like, oh yeah, each Space Marine color is sold in 3 different parts and it's $20 a part. Or pull like first, whatever that game was we played, you know the one I'm talking about. What the one we were looking at, First Descendant, where it's like some of the characters are like $100 to $200 and crap. Hopefully it won't be that crazy.
Yeah, so.
But if it's just skins, I could care less.
Yeah, the game will receive some cosmetic paid post-launch DLC in the form of weapon and character packs. Which means the games can... So it won't be microtransactions, it'll be packs.
Okay. Well, at least packs implies you'll get multiple ones, so they won't try to penny and nickel.
To me, that's still microtransactions.
I mean, no, well, it's skins. But my main thing is that I hope they're doing packs. That's way better than the BS, like piecemealing you. Like, you know, you're selling blue for $20 and you can only use it once.
True.
If there's a pack, it sounds like you'll get a whole set of skins. I can respect that. But I expect cosmetics, dude. No game's going to be free. Well, except Black Myth Wukong. But like, a few games that are like that are going to be free of it. But you also do unlock parts in the mode. So there should be some in-game cosmetics you will have access to. That doesn't
They do say 90% of developers say microtransactions don't belong in premium games.
Yeah, you already bought it. I mean, I'm with that too.
So, now, I don't know, man. I'm not happy. I don't know if I like the concept of disguising microtransactions as DLC, though.
Oh, no.
And that's
Games Workshop,
that's what they're doing.
I know. I just can't be shocked by Games Workshop. That's all they did is kind of... That's like...
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
okay.
Games Workshop, I'm like, that's all they did?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, you're right.
Right,
you're right.
Bloodaxe? We're like, holy crap, that's all they did. Like, I was expecting so much
That's all they
worse.
did we know so far.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be like, yo, check out this. Takes off helmet. It's just, well, takes off helmet. You go, what the hell? And it's like, oh, hello, fellow Space Marines.
All right.
Like some kind of Concorde-like character.
Wow.
We got to take a side note into that territory.
All right. You want to talk about Concord?
What you got, Bloodaxe?
That all 475 players.
Oh, they got up to 475? They broke 300 finally?
It said to hit 700 peak concurrent players.
Whoa, that's way better. They weren't able to. No, game fails to hit 700.
Oh, fails to hit. Okay.
Wow, man. That is the opposite. You got to get them. You know what? You need some of these. See? These are my dad glasses.
Yeah.
They help. I had to give me some dad glasses. I didn't have to, but.
Anyway, I'm going to let you talk about Concord. I've got an itch in my throat that I need to go grab something to rinse.
Check out the Nike check, man. You know, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah, you're going to go get something for your itch. They can make a cream for that. All right. Former Concat developer maligns critics as talentless freaks as games fails to hit 700. Hey, Bloodaxe, Zeno's gone, so now you're the host. You've been following this too, it sounds like.
Yeah, the fact that I think they hit top peak players of 675 is absolutely nuts. That is amazingly bad. I can't. You know what's funny is Borderlands 3 has been out for 5 or 6 years, has probably 10 times that going on right now.
I don't know if it's quite there. Hey, hit Borderlands 3 and see how many people are playing for us. But, what's bad is that this is a new release. So, on release, this game on Steam, I believe, is hitting not even 1,000 people. This is a live service game. And let me tell you why this is worse for a live service game. Live service games cost to run. That's why they're called live service. Unlike a lot of other games, man, they're stomping that out. Borderlands 3's got 16,000. So yeah, Bloodaxe, you're wrong. You were completely wrong. That's way more than 10 times.
24-hour peak is 16,334, but there's 14,000.
15 minutes ago, 20 times the number of people are playing Borderlands 15 minutes ago. Hey, you want to see how many people are playing right now? They said they didn't break 700. Yeah, you want to hit Concord. So basically, a new release game is dead on release. And what's worse, they can't do anything about it because it's a live service game. They've got to keep running the servers. It doesn't run offline, to my knowledge.
351 playing 4 minutes ago, 436 24-hour peak.
There's probably more people playing the game Celeste right now than they are playing
50 times the people. Now I feel like a bully. Okay, dang, you ever feel like you just took a kid's lunch money? Like, dog, as an adult. Like, you feel like you was okay, well, anyway, I think more people are playing Suicide Squad. So this is bad. This is, well, probably not, but now I'm curious, but I'm pretty sure that Concord is at least beating Suicide. There you go. It's beating current Suicide Squad. Though the all-time peak of Suicide Squad is double. No, 20 times again. Oh, my God, it's 20 times again, isn't it? Wow, they can't even compete with Suicide Squad.
The current Borderlands 3 is still higher than
no,
Suicide Squad's.
Well, of course. So we've got a game that they have to keep alive for at least a couple of years so that people that bought it get their money.
And they could pull a Redfall.
They could pull a Redfall?
Yeah.
Redfall works offline. Oh, you're talking about they can try to make it where it'll work offline?
Well, are they?
No, they can't. It's a live service game. You play PvP.
True.
It has to be online. So they have to run these servers. Now, technically, they probably have escape clauses in their contract, but if you want to ruin your company, if you screw everybody like that, you absolutely... Redfall still had more people, though, at its peak. On Steam, even though it's a Game Pass game. Wait, no, it's a Game Pass game. It was free on Game Pass, and it still has more Steam players at its peak. It's not even really a Steam game. Because you can play it on Xbox PC. Oh, wow. Wow, you can't give, well, you know what they said? They said they had less people in the second beta. They couldn't give it away. Like, they literally couldn't get people to show up to play the dang game when they opened it up. But this is probably going to be the biggest fail of the year. Yes, I know we're probably not going to cover Dustborn. Dustborn is really doing bad. But Dustborn's also a little indie single player. It's not a big, we made this a part of our special Sony, Expo game event. And and also they spent a lot of advertising, dude. They were pushing it. They were making movies, and they promised all these was it month or a quarter that there's going to be a new movie with backgrounds for the characters. All this DLC and updates is promised. This has got to be devastating because at least Redfall didn't promise a lot except for that little $10 pre-order pack. This is a case of people bought this game. They're expecting, kind of like Suicide Squad, to get all of their seasons and stuff in. This game's got to at least run for 2 years. If they do it before that, they're probably going to get sued. Because we've seen companies we have an escape clause, like what happened with Disney, and then they get their butt sued. You signed up for Disney Plus. Well, yeah, we don't care. That doesn't work. Justice is blind, not stupid all the time. So they may get sued if they close the servers down. So now they've got to maintain. So whatever money they made, this is my theory, whatever money they made on these game sales, they will lose over the next year from maintaining the servers for people who aren't playing because they're legally obligated.
I mean, Firewalk Studios probably go bankrupt.
Or they could claim bankruptcy and shut down, which will be devastating for Sony because that's one of their big attempts to release a game, and they lose a studio immediately. Of course, nobody will say anything because only Xbox gets in trouble for closing studios, but...
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to the Gamescom stuff. Path of Exile 2. It will be going early access November 15th. So looking forward to that one.
I got to sign up or something?
I think it'll just be on Steam most likely. It's free. It's a free game. It's free to play.
God, some companies just do it right.
They make their money off of cosmetics and basically storage capacity. They do sell some storage.
Right, but if I like it, I'll drop something on it. I support companies, man.
I mean, for free to play, the amount they put into this game, I usually will drop. I think the last game I dropped about $30-$40 on, but I played a lot of that game. So it was definitely worth the $30-$40 I dropped on it.
And the cool part is we all three can try it.
Yeah.
Because will it be on console?
It is supposed to be on console, yeah.
Hey, Bloodaxe. If there's crossplay, which I imagine it will be, we will get you can run. You got to try that dude with the crossbow. What's the name of that class? Is it Hunter or something?
The Mercenary.
You got to try that Mercenary. I think you'll like it. It looked fun.
Yeah, I mean, dude, my biggest complaint about this game is still the fact that they gender lock their classes.
Oh, they're still doing it?
Yeah.
Well, looks like Fem Mortis returns again.
Yeah.
My female version of my necromancer.
I mean, it's a minor complaint, but I just don't see the purpose of it anymore.
I mean, the game was so good, I created a female version of because that's how good it was in this game.
Yeah.
Same as the one that we tried.
But I mean, there's going to be like 12 classes for this one. So, the intelligence classes though are the sorceress and the witch, and the witch is the one that I think you played.
Yes, witch can go in the necromancer.
Sorceress I think is new.
Are we going to get a female Xeno? Because I don't see a spellcaster that's male.
Last time I developed a Templar and went the intelligence path on Templar to make Xeno.
This is pretty impressive.
Because the way now I don't know exactly how the star chart and the skills and all that's going to work out, but
you can't dip a toe into other trees.
Being that the Templar was in between the strength skills and the intelligence skills, you could take the route into the intelligence.
Well, there also was an Archon class you could unlock in the first game that had access to all the skill trees. You could remember that? There was an Archon you could unlock. I thought about it, but I had already leveled my character. I didn't want to make a new one. But you can unlock a class that can build on any tree, so you can mix and match. It just make what you want to play.
Did they have that? I don't recall that.
Yeah, there was a class. There was a little class that it was the other way to make a necromancer. You either played a witch or you played the jack of.
I think it was just that you couldn't do as good. Like if you're really min-maxing, it wasn't.
No, you couldn't quite. But you needed to hybrid the class. You didn't try to solo a tree. You'd have to mix something in.
Because where the sorceress and the witch would start right in the middle of all the intelligence and spell casting stuff, with that one you had to sort of make some detours to get up there.
You'd have to be really stubborn to want to be a dude necromancer. And even I wasn't that stubborn. I was just like, nah, Fem Mortis, we're going to roll with it.
But no, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's Path of Exile 2, and it won't cost me anything. So, Then we have Monster Hunter Wilds. Dude, I heard the line was insane to try this game out. People were standing in, line all day just for this game.
I hope we can get Bloodaxe on board for this because that game looks so effing fun. And the great sword. Have you seen the great sword in this, man? You love great swords. But also the freaking heavy crossbow, the light crossbow. Every weapon looked incredible. In fact, the only one that looked they kind of got lazy on was my switch axe and my charge blade. Lazy sons of guns barely showed me anything. I was a little annoyed. They showed so much more of the other weapons. They showed a bit more to switch axe, but they minimized charge blade showing stuff. But it looked good, but they didn't show us anything. I'm still a little irked and really hoping we're going to get a proper charge blade gameplay. But every weapon looks incredible. You seem to have better options for moving. You got a mount now. You can roll onto the mount. And so you have 2 weapons, which is huge, because now you can switch. Oh, man, Dual Blade looks insane, man. You want to bring back your Dual Blader. It looked incredible. I am very excited for this game, but Dual Blade was looking really good. It has that move. Yeah, the chainsaw down the body. Like, Zeno was our Dual Blader. He was all over the place. He was a monster. It wasn't until I mastered Charge Blade I could compete with his damage. He had me skunked.
Oh, yeah. The speed was insane.
I could not compete. But even with my Switch Axe, I couldn't compete. But, man, when I got my Charge Blade down, I finally joined you in the big leagues. But, the game looks fun.
And the hammer was fun, too. I did play the hammer as well.
Every weapon looks really good. I'm just hoping my Charge Blade's gonna have some of my preferred options. I like the Axe Hopper. I like getting up there and really charging up a big swing. The Charge Blade explosion wasn't as flashy as I like, but it's okay because Switch Axe is there. My Switch Axe is looking really good. So, because I started Switch Axe and then I went to Charge Blade when I felt that I needed something more complex. And it is the most complex weapon in the game. That might be why. They were like, dude, we'd have to give you a tutorial with a friggin' glossary, to cover the Charge Blade. But this is on my list. And Bloodaxe, I hope you'll join us on it so we can finally get that 3-man team running.
I will play it. Just don't give me shit for not putting in 40 hours a week on it.
I don't want you to put 40 hours a week. I just want you to play and,
I played the last one.
and try. We'll get you there. We got your back.
I watched videos on the last one, and I practiced my moves, and you guys are still pissed off at me. Like, you know what? Fine. You're
we were ready to. We had your back, didn't we? We were gonna get you whatever weapon you wanted, man. But you disappeared to Grounded. Grounded ate you, man. We lost you for a long time on Grounded.
There's no more updates for Grounded.
Let's move on. Mecha Break got a lot of talk. Now it also got talk. Good and bad. Good was gameplay and how people were.
The demo went well.
Yeah, the demo went well. The bad, apparently, a lot of people were pissed off because they had a bunch of women dressed like Tomb Raider as booth chicks, and they a lot of the people said it was archaic and sexist and stuff. But
it's funny because I'm pretty sure that they don't feel that way because it's a job. That's like running into a Hooters and going, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. And then the Hooter girls look at you and goes, I make $400 a night. And then you're like,
yeah,
y'all hiring?
I don't care if they're scantily clad women. It's a mecha game, so I'm excited for a new mecha game coming out.
Literally, it's a mecha game.
Yeah, the playtest soars past 50,000 concurrent. I bet you Concord's jealous.
Let me tell you something. Concord may not be able to hit 50,000 players. Just period. Yeah. Just overall across
50,000 concurrent Steam players in this playtest.
Oh, yeah, the character creator does allow you to get booty-rific, but then you get it in your back.
Yeah, they
But the joke is that you make your character, you do a cutscene, then you get in your mech, and you're done.
I'm curious what, yeah.
Because it's also that. It's also the infamous Elden Ring. Because Elden Ring allows you to be ratchet.
I knew when they had the back of the head that it was going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be. So it's a joke. But literally, like Asmongold made his character, and he made himself look so anorexic. He looked awful. He said, yeah, that's me. And everybody was laughing because he was walking around, and it shows him in a cutscene like, yeah. And he's like skin and bones. It's funny. But then you get your mech, and it's time for mech action. The only thing I'm worried about is, dude, I don't know if you're ready, Bloodaxe, because Armored Core looks slow compared to this. This game is fast. It looks fun, but unfortunately, it also looks like it may be more PvP than PvE.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, all the gameplay I saw after the tutorial mission was almost exclusively PvP, but that might have just been what Asmongold was doing. I want a story, Me and Flynn, we grew up with oh God, I can't believe it, brain, and I just lost it. That game, man. Help me out here. You remember it? The one that had all the... that drives me crazy that I forgot the name of it. But, yeah, we grew up on really some really good mecha games that were very fast-paced. It'll come to me in a moment. But
Armored Core?
No, not at all. That's not at all what we're talking about. And this reminds me of some of the more fast-paced mecha games. If Flynn catches up in chat, he'll drop it because he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is
Zone of Enders. That's my boy. I knew he.
That's what I said.
No, you said Armored Core.
And I said Zone of Enders.
Zone of Enders. All right. Zone of Enders. This has a Zone of Enders vibe, but Zone of Enders did, I think, may have some verses, but Zone of Enders vibe, which is really awesome.
All right, let's see what else we got. Got Civ 7. Now, I will say, man, Civ 7, I'm hoping they come back from Civ 6.
Huh?
Civ 5, I know you're not a Civilization guy.
Yeah, you're talking about your Sims.
But I liked Civilization. Civilization 6 was bad. I really hope they recover. You know, I mean, Civilization is the king of strategic games.
Even I know that is the world, that is the sim builder of them all.
Starfield announced that they have they pushed the update, Rev 8 update, which is basically adding a vehicle to the game. And what's that?
That says about time, because that was one of the worst parts of that game, was having to foot across these weird planets and find nothing.
Well, they spaced stuff out so dang far. Yeah. But gave you no fast movement options. No, like your jetpack isn't really meant for that, you know, even if you try to spec for it. So it was like, the fact that you would spend minutes sometimes just moving toward a blip on your map was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And this does come outside the upcoming DLC. So this is
everybody gets it. The problem is that Zeno's been watching the mod community. He says they have still failed to pull the mod community back.
Yeah, they have not.
And I went and checked, too. The reason I haven't reloaded it is because I'm waiting for something. I'm just like, hey, when's somebody going to do something fun? Now, who knows? Give this to Bethesda. They can pull a gearbox when it comes to DLC. Sometimes Bethesda has a DLC changes the whole game and adds a lot for modders to play with. It just really doesn't. I mean, Hearthborn or Hearthfire for Skyrim had people making their own homes, building entire areas, changing the way you interacted, having multiple bigger families. It massively altered the game. It's probably I think it was Hearthfire. It was one of the biggest DLCs that changed the way the game played. It was massive in how it affected it. I haven't heard them say anything, but maybe they'll introduce some mechanics and options, like the space stations everybody suspected. And people can build their own space stations. Models will come back.
I mean, the thing is that they have done good things. They have listened to the community on a lot of things. I mean, they brought the vehicle. They made it where whenever you go to New Game Plus, you can change out your traits now.
Think you can build a ship from scratch now?
Yeah.
Can't you now build ships from scratch?
You've always been able to build ships.
No, you had to have a ship and modify it. You can just go in and build a ship.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you can do that or not, honestly.
I thought they added that.
I mean, you start off with a ship. So.
If they bring in star stations, people will come back because everybody's going to start building Deep Space Nine, Bab 5. They're going to build their favorite star stations. I think that's how you get the models.
Well, you need to build it. They still need to work on star stations, but they also need to make it where having outposts and stuff
matter.
Yeah,
they literally have no purpose in this game. They really don't. You do them for fun because you've done everything else. And because, the Nostromo, man, somebody could remake the first Alien movie, build a big space station ship.
I mean, think if you could turn your outpost into a city like you could basically in Fallout, where you can start attracting people, get merchants, stuff like that. Even if that doesn't have a huge effect on the game, at least it feels like you're doing something. You don't even really feel like you're doing much.
You might actually want to visit your favorite outpost. Like I will say this for Fallout 4. Your, encampments, the settlements, they mattered. They help. Especially on survival, when they helped you get the water and everything, clean water. Your settlements can build stuff you don't need.
Yeah.
You just don't need any of it at all.
Yeah.
Now, if they tied, what I'm hoping somebody's going to do like Requiem. Horizon from Fallout 4, and they'll put in a mod where building a spaceship requires an outpost. And then you use the outpost to build the spaceship, so you're putting staff in, and it maintains it, and you can build a bigger and bigger. Or, like you said, space stations are basically space outposts. Now, that would be cool. Yeah. And you could pull up to your space station, and it's got your guys on there, and you definitely need vendors, because the money problem, you need vendors. That would be a lot.
I mean, it would have been cool if you would have been able to set up outposts or set up a star base. Have them research new parts for your ship that you can't get any other way, and actually start.
You actually need a research team. Yeah. I like that. You need to do this. Oh, no, you can make special stuff. Oh, you can only make this in 0G.
Yeah.
So you got to go on a moon and make an outpost to make the 0G parts for this special. Wow. All of that would have been really incredible. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So Marvel Rivals.
They
look surprisingly
on
good.
Captain America and Winter Soldier did look interesting. Winter Soldier's powers, I don't recall.
They gave him the Metal Gear Solid tentacle arm.
Yeah.
Now. He's grabbing people. He has a really cheap trick that's going to be hated, where if he's on a stage that has a cliff you can die off of, he can jump off the stage, pull you off the stage, and then go and pull himself back to the stage. And if you're not a flyer, bye.
Yeah. I'm not big into these types of games, but it does look good, actually. It's the first Marvel game I've seen in a while that actually looks like it may actually
give Overwatch a fight. Yeah, I mean, it looks funner than Overwatch by far. It looks way more fun than Overwatch. I might actually try that for free. Yeah. Well, I would never play Overwatch.
Looking forward to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah, that's your baby.
I'm keeping an eye on this one. What I saw looked really good. I will say, I watched a couple videos on it from what came out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. You're
playing Henry again. You're actually playing the protagonist from the first game.
It starts off. It actually starts off at the end of the first game.
Sounds like they're going a little bit more with the political intrigue, though, and that wasn't my favorite part of that game. I'll admit, I played it to cut people up.
Yeah,
and play as I sim survived.
I don't know. What I saw most people focusing on was a lot of the battles, the duels.
That was my baby.
That.
Yeah.
The game looks beautiful, and it still has that star pattern swords, so you can parry and do all that stuff, which I enjoyed.
It works really well on mouse.
Yes.
And keyboard.
Now, that will be a question. I know you had a lot of problems with controller with the game, and I don't know if they've ironed that out.
It was really bad on controller. Now, maybe I needed to go in and play with
Peggy,
the settings.
18.
I don't know. But, yeah, it was painful experience on controller. But I think I was playing it for free, though. Like, I got it on something. Was it on Game Pass?
I think it came on Game Pass for a little bit.
Yeah, so I was playing it for free. But it was not bad. I mean, it was a fun game. The immersion was incredible. It was a very immersive. It had the survival down to the nitty-gritty, which I thought was really good. But then if I got it, and I won all the tournaments and single fights, but when it got in a multiplayer combat, the controller failed me very poorly every time. And I just grew to hate the experience of fighting more than one opponent with a controller. But you could just whip your mouse around and
honestly, it really felt fluid to me. Like combat was really
mouse
fluid.
Is precise for moving. For moving your facing, you can't beat a mouse.
Yeah,
a mouse is unmatched for moving your head, and with it having directional combat, it was. But like, I had to hit button combinations to switch targets, and trying to switch targets in time to parry a guy's attack that you don't even know what it is until your character turns around. Whereas I'd watch Zeno, he'd be watching both guys. He's just doing this, moving his mouse and keeping an eye on everybody. And I'm up here like I've got to lock on to a guy. I had to play lock on with a controller. And I had to switch the lock on. And sometimes instead of switching the lock on, it would just switch my sword position. Or something, or when I switched to this side, my sword would also be pacing that way. And so it was a headache.
And and if you didn't get the directions right, you would break your combos and stuff like that. So I could see where that'd be an issue.
It wasn't built for controller.
Did you play Kingdom Come any Blood?
A little bit, but it didn't catch my interest.
Yeah, it was a hard game, and
it was a little challenging. But like I said, but if it was 1-on-1, it was Straight up.
Yeah, originally I thought it was going to be like a medieval civilization type game, but it wasn't. So I was like, okay, this isn't for me. So, but yeah, I tried it a little bit, but it didn't catch my interest.
All right. Let's see. We got.
I think that's the VR Batman game.
Yeah, I'm not into VR, so I don't really have much to say.
Son might want to try it, but it looked okay-ish. Little Nightmares 3, I've been looking forward to. That Little Nightmares is a really fun. I mean, I'm gonna follow it. This is a game that I watch. Some games are really fun to watch. They're just fun to observe. That's going to be streamed like crazy, so a lot of streamers are going to be doing it, and I'm looking forward to it because it is a beautiful game to watch. Its downside is its replay value because a lot of it is that first time you see these unbelievable and amazing visuals, and thus that's why I wouldn't play it because I'm like, well, the gameplay never wowed me, but the story and the visuals are... It's a storybook. It looks like a dark Tim Burton-ish storybook game. It's going to be great. If you like playing those, awesome. If you like watching them, awesome.
Yeah.
Another one of yours.
Masters of Albion. I am looking forward to this. We know, yes.
Black and White meets Fable.
Yeah, it's Black and White meets Fable. But, I mean, I loved Black and White, dude. Black and White was one of, I mean, that game came out, what, in the 90s? And, dude, I loved that game.
Oh, he's been riding that rep for a while because he is a lying mofo.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux is not my boy. He lied to me in every Fable game. He played me. I always tell the story. Flynn remembers. I ran around with no shirt on in Fable 1 trying to tan for a week. And I was like, I'm not tanning. Peter Molyneux said I could tan. If I take my shirt off, walk on the sun, I'll tan. Never tanned. Never tanned. I tried to do all the things he promised you could do in that game, and I couldn't. And it took me a while to realize, because back then, you know, internet wasn't quite as big a thing where we had these gamers, like people that were exposing it before you buy, or at least I hadn't got as informed on it.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it wasn't in the game for a while. Because Fable 1 was a long time ago. Yeah, see, Flynn, because me and Flynn were big Fable, but he says he'll not buy another one. Why, Flynn? What did they do to you? How did they get you? Was it the same thing? Were you trying to get a nice golden tan and got played and wasted all your dang time?
I get it, and I know, but I mean, dude, it's the Black and White fan in me that wants to see this work and are giving the King of Lies a chance here is because.
We don't even talk about the Big Blue Box game, that mobile hustle he did. Yeah, he conned a lot of people with that. But, yeah, 2004 was Fable, so we're talking about 20 years ago. And, I mean, he promised the most incredible, immersive. It was you know what? Kingdom Deliverance delivered more what he promised than Kingdom Come Deliverance than he did.
Yeah.
Overpromised and undelivered. For example, you saw that trailer? You may not be able to do that. You don't know. It's Peter Molyneux.
I don't know. Look,
but no, have hope.
I know. I have the low expectations. It's not. Once again, I have been burnt too many times on pre-orders and stuff like that. I'm not pre-ordering. All right.
Remember Bad TV? Lowered expectations.
Yeah.
I missed that show. But it looks fun. I mean, if it does what it says it does, it looks incredible. Even I was mildly interested in it. I don't like builders, but it's because you have the interactive black and white hand and you can actually take control of a guard and go fight monsters. It looks interesting. And if it's free, but free. I ain't paying Peter Molyneux for nothing that hasn't been out for a year. We're gonna, or 6 months. Isn't our rule Bloodaxe for certain games? We give them the 6 month. Like we're going to do Borderlands?
Oh, at least 6 months.
Here's a game I wish I gave 6 months. Diablo 4.
You gave it 6 months, you would have gave it nothing.
I know.
Hey, Season 5.
Now they screwed me already on my wizard.
Well, yeah. They screwed your preferred build. Diablo 4, it was good. You know, it takes 5 seasons to get his legs under it. Dude, other stuff's come out in 5 seasons. I'm playing Black Myth Wukong. That's how long it took.
The first Berserker Kazan actually looks like it could be interesting. I mean, it's October 11th, so...
Yeah, it was described...
Xeno
coined it a Darksiders-like feel, which I'm surprised didn't perk Bloodaxe up a lot more, because he is a big Darksiders fan. And I've wanted to play him, but I want to play co-op with him, but the one co-op game they made was not what we were looking for. I was hoping it would be like Darksiders 1 and 2 with co-op, and I get to play Death, and he gets to play War, and we get to bring Death and War. You know what I'm saying? And it's so our style. Death's a necromancer. He's got a sight. He's fast and agile.
Yeah.
You know, Bloodaxe has got his armor and his nightmare-style build. I'm pretty sure in Darksiders 1, you were a beast, just a plotting beast, weren't you?
Yeah, that last Darksiders was
sad. What is it, Fury
Genesis
or whatever? Strife?
Yeah, Genesis was not Darksiders. It was more like Diablo than anything else. I mean, I finished the game. It was okay, but it did not put you into the feel of a Darksiders game. It was a blatant money grab. And
what was the name of the cowboy character with the guns?
Strife.
Like, that's a shame, too, because they made a multiplayer. They could play up to 3 people. That's us, dude. Literally, Death, you would War, and, oh, man, Gino loves a gunslinger. Like, when we played Remnant 2, man, you loved that they came with that gunslinger. They have our team on there, but I don't want to play it as a Diablo-like. I know that's me being picky because, you know, we do play those types of games. But
I get it, though. I mean,
but I know that's not what they're good at.
Yeah.
Like, I know they know how to do this. Let us do it. I really want that game so bad. So... Sorry, so back on the original. See, look, but Kazan does remind me of Darksiders 1. It has a Darksiders 1 vibe mixed with a little God of War, maybe. I think that's a more God of War than Darksiders, but then I don't know Darksiders as well. So it looks...
Well, I agree.
It looks promising.
Right. That is not what I clicked.
Please stand by. We are having technical...
Anyway, next up, then there's Indiana Jones. They talked about it. They did say... one article I read actually mentioned that they announced that it would be coming out on PlayStation, and there was a huge amount of cheering for that. And apparently Todd sort of looked grumpy that so many people were happy that it wasn't going to be an Xbox exclusive.
I mean, I want to be optimistic about this game. But I did not know that they did the recent Wolfenstein game with the daughters. Ooh, and then, of course, we know the designers. We've been over that. Y'all know, y'all seen the people they've chosen to talk about this game that are on the team. But then they rolled it back to that Wolfenstein travesty, and I was like, it's like Space Marines 2. Me and Bloodaxe are both looking at this game, and we have that when's the other shoe fall? You know what I mean, Bloodaxe? Like... It's got to be in there somewhere, right? Like, it's got to be. We don't know where. We don't know how. They're not good faith actors, man. They're just not. Like, I have a hard time trusting because, oh, my God, they screw up Wolfenstein. Oh, man, the 2 daughters, they were like, yo, we killed the guy. Oh, just really, it was Tyree. You know what? It was Tyree and Troy. Were the characters of that game. So when you're that bad and you're that oblivious to how bad you are, I don't know. But I don't see it. Like Space Marines 2, we haven't seen it. Yeah. But I'm just worried that it's like a delicious hamburger, and it isn't until you flip it over that you see the bottom smeared with crap. Like, you know, like, oh, it looks good, man, until you pick it up and you go, what's that on my thumb? You know, like, that's my fear, is that you're going to turn this game over or turn over Space Marines 2 and go, ugh. But yeah,
so we got a December 9th, 2024 release date, and then a spring of 2025 for PS5. So.
Oh, they're making them wait.
They are making them wait.
Hey, Bloodaxe, we can
have there's been a lot of there's been a lot of online hate about, you know, Xbox is losing because they're putting their exclusives on PlayStation. I don't see it that way at all.
Yeah.
I mean, as a gamer, I would love to be able to play some of the PlayStation exclusives, but I'm not going to buy a PlayStation, and I would just rather not. I just won't play the game. And at least the Sony folks will be able to enjoy Indiana Jones if it comes out towards actually a halfway playable game. Granted, they'll be paying for it versus, we'll get it on Game Pass. So Microsoft will be able to recoup some of the money. So I think it's a good business strategy because they don't make their money on consoles. They make their money on the games.
Also, it allows Microsoft to make some of the Sony's game money. That's fun. I love the idea of Microsoft getting money out of Sony players. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because it's not a competition who has the best exclusives. I don't think at this point it's where's the most value for your buck. So if
the thing is, the point is to make money.
Oh, go ahead, man. Yeah, I mean, we would still be buying games for PlayStation and still paying for the PlayStation service. At least when we're paying for Game Pass, we're getting the online service. We also do get a couple of games. Just like Atlas Fallen, it came out last year. It's a game I've been looking at, and I downloaded it and started playing a couple. Was it Friday? And it's a fun game. It's not a game I would have bought, but I feel like I've gotten at least another couple of months of service out of my Game Pass subscription because it's a game that interested in. I was allowed to play it, and I'm enjoying playing the game. So the fact that it's going to PlayStation, good for them. It's not going to be day one. Okay, whatever. But same thing with Borderlands 3. We didn't get it day one. We waited, and then they fixed most of the bugs, and we're still enjoying playing it up to a couple of days ago.
All right, one last thing before we end the episode. We did get some news on Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Oh. This game that we've been waiting for since, 2018 when it was announced.
And was worked on at least until 2016 when we looked into it, maybe
earlier. It's been in the hands of multiple studios, but it is yet again delayed now to the first half of 2025.
By first half, they mean July. They never do it in the early part. I said that if they say summer, it's the end of summer. If they say a whole year, it's the end of that year. They always take the maximum time. I've never seen somebody go, it's coming out in the first half, and then it comes out January. Never happened.
Yeah,
well, I've never seen it come out in March. Huh?
That's not. I've seen it a couple of times. That's not true.
You like different games than me, I guess. It's like I've always seen it be, they say, oh, it's going to come out in this, and it's the end of that time frame. Sometimes, one time it was literally the last effing day. It was like, this is going to come out in spring. And it came out like the last day of the last month. I'm not kidding. The last day of the last month, and I just went, you might as well have said early summer, so at least you could look like early summer. Whoa, it came out at the beginning of summer. You might as well waited a day. It looked good. If I had a choice, dude, what are we going to have it out? Man, it's going to be the end of May or the end of April. All right, move it to May and say early summer, and then have everybody be pleasantly surprised.
Flynn is using his Vampire the Masquerade knowledge to
they are in torpor
to rag on the Masquerade. So yeah,
you know what? This game's taking so long to come out that maybe that's why your character is an elder. You were a neonate when it started. You've been in torpor so long, your vampire's an elder. They keep this up, you're going to be an antediluvian. They're just going to wake up and be like, I'm the oldest vampire here. You guys have been waiting a long time.
Now, I will say, I watched the video from the developers for the game, and, they talked about really trying to make each family, unique and everything. So, and they were spending that time to put those nice finishing touches and unique touches. And honestly, you got to have that if you're doing a Vampire the Masquerade. You got to have each of the clans be very unique and actually have their own appeal. So if it is in the quality of the game that you're doing the delay, I'm okay with it.
In their defense, too, Vampire the Masquerade, the frigging tabletop can't decide what the F it wants to do.
Yeah.
They're on the 5th edition, and 5th edition sucks. I played it, and it's the worst edition of Masquerade I've played, but they also made me play a vampire in it, which I already am not a big fan. I prefer mages and werewolves, but, it was a miserable experience. I'm hoping that they do not base this on 5th edition. Otherwise, this is going to... Wow, I think that guy had hair when this started.
Oh.
It's been 8 or more years.
Well, sadly, this dude wasn't even involved when it started because, he's from the current.
Hey, that doesn't mean he didn't have hair back
that's true.
When they started making the game. Dude, we saw 2016. I think they've been working on it longer than that because the game's from 2004 again.
The original game, you mean?
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah, the original game. So, it's a 20-year sequel, which is a lot.
Well, Paradox didn't buy the rights to the game until 2015.
Now, in their defense, it was a cult hit. It was not a real success.
So, being that they didn't buy the rights to the game until 2015, that's the earliest they could have started.
Well, also, it was a cult hit. You're in a Masquerade game. All right. Yeah, dude, I'm Tremere. I'm looking forward to doing Tremere. I used to do not Gangrel. What's the other ones? Bruja. But in the game, I love Tremere. I'm looking forward to doing Tremere again. But yeah, it's delayed again. And honestly, I don't think it's coming out the first half. I think it's going to get pushed back again.
We'll see. We're going to wrap it up there, guys. Any final comments, Bloodaxe?
Everyone run out and tell me how Outlaws is because it's not a game I'm planning on playing anytime soon.
Is it out already?
I think it's coming. Is it this week or next week? I think it's next week it's coming out.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's coming out soon. And that $130 price tag is absolutely just
August 30th. So that means it comes out in 5 days.
Then. The question is, will Outlaws beat Concord?
Yes.
Yes.
You think Outlaws will beat Concord?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
That's not. Yeah, you're right. That's not a fair fight.
Yeah, that is not a fair fight, dude.
At least there is a name recognition when it comes to it, and for the longest time I had it in my wish list on Xbox Store.
I guarantee you it won't beat Wukong.
Well, no. But okay, will it beat its own sister game? I don't know what to call it. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Ooh.
Which one of these is going to... You know what? No, flip
Which
that.
one's going to bomb more?
Which one's going to bomb harder, everybody? What's your vote? Assassin's Creed Shadows or Star Wars Outlaw? I'm going, before anybody beats it to it, I'm saying Shadows.
I'm going Star Wars.
You think Outlaw will bomb worse than Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yes.
I think Shadows will bomb more because Star Wars Outlaws is at least Star Wars.
Shadows will bomb more because I've never played Assassin's Creed, but I've played all the Star Wars games up until now for the most part. And I have no interest in playing Assassin's Creed. If Outlaws came on Game Pass, I would probably download it and give it a try just because of Star Wars. But even though all the games from Assassin's Creed are on Game Pass, I've never downloaded or played any of them. So
you are right. I literally would not. If you told me you should try Outlaws, I'd take it for a spin. I would not play Shadows if it was free.
I think they're asking which will have the least number of sales.
No, yeah, we're talking about not do well. I think Outlaw will outdo Assassin's Creed Shadows. You say Shadows. I'll get you. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed fans. This is a valid wager. I'm betting on them having ruined the powerful franchise Assassin's Creed that much. It's a long shot. It is a long shot. But I think Star Wars may still have more legs. Here's the problem. The Asian gaming audience is a big audience. And Assassin's Creed Shadow really pooped the bed on that, man. Losing Japan and China and Korea probably as well.
It's specifically pooped on Japan.
Yeah, but also it's got a black main character. That doesn't do well in those other countries.
But it pooped on Japan, so it may get China.
I don't think the hate's that strong. I don't think that. Well, I don't know. Maybe ironically. Maybe running around as a big black dude who looks like a rapper and murdering Japanese people will appeal to some people.
Anyways. All right, guys, let's wrap it up right there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links to everywhere we are online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube